I was going up from town, I met the grain trains rolling down every day. 100 trains, every train, 100 cars, every car, 100 tons, every ton, 100 sacks, every sack, 10,000 grains. And that's what cities get from trains. Some politicians lacking brains said in voices dripping sweet, we don't really need these trains, railroads all are obsolete. They're union strong, it makes demands, they guard their yards with railroad dicks who kick our cops clean off their lands, do not like our politics. As I was going up from town, I met the grain trains rolling down every day. 100 trains, every train, 100 cars, every car, 100 tons, every ton, 100 sacks, every sack, 10,000 grains. And that's what cities get from trains. So the politicians passed some laws to screw more money off the trains and deeper dip their pudgy paws in more control of railroad gains. The railroad said, get off our land. They went on strike to show their peak. The grain trains stopped their rolling and the city starved within a week. As I was going up from town, I met the grain trains rolling down every day. 100 trains, every train, 100 cars, every car, 100 tons, every ton, 100 sacks, every sack, 10,000 grains. And that's what cities get from trains. Hunger riots burned and rose and battered down the State House door, and all those fat politicos were killed and eaten by the poor. And with the city out of joint and no more politician men, the railroad said they'd proved their point and sent the grain trains down again. As I was going up from town, I met the grain trains rolling down every day. 100 trains, every train, 100 cars, every car, 100 tons, every ton, 100 sacks, every sack, 10,000 grains. And that's what cities get from trains.
Good morning, Minecraft. Wandering Beekeeper here. How you doing? Content warning: I am inappropriate for all audiences. I'm an old queer man who lives in a legal state, talks about weed and politics, and cusses a lot. I do play Minecraft, however, and let's go on and just pop over to the game screen here, and there we go. Let's actually be in a Minecraft world. So, immersive geology. Bringing real-world metallurgical processing into Minecraft in a very simplified form, but the folks behind this are like, real-world metallurgists and chemists, and there's a nuclear physics person goes by the handle of radioisotopic. Shout out to them because they got pinged just recently for a consult. So, a lot of stuff going on here. We're well into the series, so hopefully you've got some idea of what's going on here. I've got some stuff loading in here. I brought in a bunch of ore in order to keep the reverberatory furnaces cranking out the sulfur dioxide so that I can continue to have sulfuric acid, which, Lord of mercy, I've built a whole new wing over here, and we kind of need to explore it a bit and just see what's going on. So first off, got some things sorted out over here with the steam turbine. It takes three geothermal exchangers. There we go, thank you. to feed one steam turbine and keep it happy. Right now we're running off of batteries, but I'm going to want to fire this thing up in a minute because those batteries ain't going to last. You know, they're already down a little bit. Why don't we start by firing this thing up? So, geothermal exchangers. There are 3 of them. Let's see, we'll bring this one up. And bring this one up. And bring, well, I have to walk around. It's kind of inconvenient, sorry. There we go. My first go at this technology, yeah, it's kind of janky as to how it's put together. I'll do better next time. As you can see, it is siphoning the heat out of the lava and has turned some of it into magma block. We can see here, if we look into the system, we can see the view and see that it's still got a good deal of lava, but it's already starting to get kind of crusty around the edges there. We're going to have to do some replacing. All right, so we got steam up. Let's get the turbine brought up. Turbines to speed. They put some work in on the animation on this. I mean, you really have to admire the amount of labor that's gone into this. Get this animation up to like this level. There we go. All right, we are at extreme voltage RPMs on the alternator and are now just cranking out the electromotive force. Should not have any problems with any of anything running dry. And yes, it is a full-on chemical reactor, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. First things first, let's talk about neodymium. Because neodymium is where all this crap starts. I've had to bring sulfuric acid over here in order to be able to make some other things. I believe this is ammonia here. Wouldn't swear to it, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's ammonia. So, let me stop and think about this, about where things go. It gets a little confusing down in here. We've got, here we go. So over here, I brought sulfuric acid over here so that I can run it into a small chemical reactor and run it over monazite powder. That monazite has been sitting there for a long time waiting for this. I got that ore in earlier on, and it went through the crusher and the gravity separator to clean it up, and then went to the recrusher and the ball mill and got powdered, and then just sat there and sat there. Well, we have sulfuric acid now, and we are able to make neodymium sulfate, and as you can see, I've actually got a fair amount made here. Feeds into the neodymium sulfate, feeds into another chemical reactor and runs against ammonia. Had to really kick up the ammonia production. That's been a thing. I've been running so much ammonia this past week. I mean, I built a bunch of stuff on off stream, but I also ran a lot of stuff off stream. This is like a cooking show where they build the thing and they put it in the oven and they turn to the camera and talk for a second and they turn back and open the oven and pull out the finished product because while the camera was away from the oven, a stagehand came in and swapped things out. A lot of the stuff is done beforehand, before the show, so that you can compress time down and show stuff off. So the ammonia gets run against the neodymium sulfate. And I'm going to go on and run a load of it because I've got it to run. Let's go on and fire that up. And that produces neodymium compound dust and chemical waste. And the neodymium compound dust goes off to our old friend, the medium voltage rotary kiln. Okay, that went quick. Medium voltage rotary kiln hooks it down. Okay, is it set to do so? Where is our friend the rotary kiln? Let's come around here and see what the rotary kiln is doing. The rotary kiln isn't doing anything. Maybe it's not keyed for this right now. Let's look into storage and see where our neodymium might be. Hold still. There we go. Neodymium compound dust. And we made 10. I mean, it's not a high production thing. And we drop it in here. And it cooks down in the MV rotary kiln. And we can just bring this up here. So there's our neodymium compound dust. We put it in the rotary kiln and it becomes neodymium oxide, which does not go to the pelletizer. Oh no. It goes off to a chemical reactor and gets run against hydrofluoric acid. I promised I would be playing around with acids that will eat your face if given half a chance. Hydrofluoric acid is actively evil. It wants to kill you. Just accept this, and it will be much easier to understand the safety precautions around hydrofluoric acid. We are in Minecraft and are going to be gleefully ignoring rather a lot. Neodymium oxide. Okay, that's processed through. Let's see if it got automatically pulled in to our hydro. Whoa, it did. Dagnabbit, and it was switched on. Well, this was full of hydrofluoric acid a minute ago. Now we have neodymium fluorite. Neodymium fluorite does not go to the bottling machine to be put into flasks. It goes, no. We're going to crystallize the neodymium. Neodymium fluorite, and the original sketch on Saturday Night Live used a bad Jamaican accent to begin with. We're going to crystallize it, and we're going to get neodymium crystal and hydrofluoric acid, which is going to be sent by a pipe you can't see back there. Yeah, there's the pipe over here. Crystallizer, I believe, has a redstone switch. We're going to go on and load in. Flip that on and load in the neodymium fluorite. And I'm going to leave the switch open. And let's fire this up and get started. We have a neodymium crystal. 2. 2 neodymium crystals. Ha, ha, ha. Okay, let's see. Once we have neodymium crystals, we go to the arc furnace and toast them and get neodymium ingots. Isn't that just splendid? Let's flip over to survival mode here. And I'm waiting to see if I can get 8. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Said the little crystallizer that could. We've achieved 10. I'm going to go on and grab them. Okay, we have neodymium crystals. Hot diggity. Let's go to the arc furnace. Let's go down to the arc furnace. Let's go down to the arc furnace and make ourselves some metal. Oh! Arc furnace is busy turning calcium oxide into calcium slag so that I can make it into ammonia. That makes calcium compound dust, which then gets run through a rotary kiln, turns back into calcium oxide, lather, rinse, repeat. Gonna be a minute. Forgot I had this running. Oopsie. Oh, I'm about to need more graphite electrodes. Those are about to die on me. Wow, have I burned through them. And this is one of the reasons why I run so much in creative mode. It's just faster. 1, 2, 3. There. There we go. Now, I'm going to have to replace the electrodes momentarily. I could clean that out, and I'm very tempted to do so once the electrodes burn out. Give them a few more seconds. Now, how loud this is with ear protectors built into the Faraday helmet I'm wearing. The thing is a lot louder without them. You are, after all, smelting with lightning. Turn it off. Pop those in, that out, and clean all of this crap out. And then flip it on a second to let it finish resetting. There we go. Okay. And we'll load this in and fire it up. Make sure I'm in survival mode here so that I can place these. Wow, is that slow? Let's distribute this. It's a 1-to-1. Let's just go on and distribute it and get it done faster. Ooh, there we go. We saw a neodymium ingot go by. This is not a mod for the impatient. You've got to be willing to babysit the machine sometimes. Or sheepdog it, or whatever the appropriate noun is to verb. And I'm going to put this all back in, distribute, and get it cracking again. And pull this out and have neodymium to carry away in the triumphal march. Have yet to find to go looking to see if I could find a public domain pompous triumphal march. I'm sure somebody's put one out somewhere. The comedic possibilities are endless. Okay, neodymium has been placed on the wall of ingots. We have achieved another ingot on the trophy wall. Have neodymium. Okay. Always nice to start off the stream with a new metal for the wall. And now we're going to talk about osmium. I have achieved osmium amide. You run ammonia over osmium compound dust, and osmium compound dust is a byproduct of a lot of processes. I have already talked about osmization. Osmization? Like carbonization except for metals, everything eventually becomes osmium. Hydrate. Okay. That gives us osmium amide and platinum compound dust, which tells you where our next target is. Here is the notebook. Yeah, I need to mark off neodymium. Neodymium achieved. Osmium and then platinum. After that, we're getting into stuff that a little difficult to do, and some of it can't even be done yet. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Platinum is doable, and I've already made a precursor. So, run ammonia over osmium compound dust, osmium amide. Osmium amide then has to go into the big guy, the full-on chemical reactor, because you need to run osmium amide, hydrochloric acid, and nitric acid all together now, and you get chemical waste and you get osmium grit, which then arc furnaces to ingot. So I'm at this final stage here. I am at the chemical reactor. Let us go have a look at the assembly so far. And I've put the chemical reactor right hard by the power farm here so that I can run the chemical reactor on HV coming directly off a HV accumulator attached to an EHV cable, so that HV accumulator ain't ever going to run dry. It's not as long as the accumulator is running, or the alternator. Not as long as the alternator is running. Alternator feeds the cable, feeds the accumulator. And the skies are not cloudy all day. So, I've got hydrochloric acid, I've got osmium amide. I don't have a whole hell of a lot of either one, but I've got some. Hydrochloric acid, I've got, where should it be coming from? Hydrochloric acid comes from over here, this tank, which is empty right now. And this is waiting for sulfuric acid. Everything is waiting for sulfuric acid. Lord of mercy, everything's waiting for sulfuric acid. All right, we need nitric acid, which I'm pretty sure requires us to run sulfuric against some sort of salt. Let's find out. NITR. Nitric acid. Nitric acid. Wrong button. The other lever, Frank. Oh, wow, but did I cross that up? Okay. Looks like there's one way to get nitric acid. You got to run saltpeter brine against sulfuric acid. Hot diggity fuck. Okay, yet another use for sulfuric acid. I need more reverberatory furnaces running vast amounts of ore. Like truly heinous amounts of ore running in like 12 or maybe 15, 12 or 16 of these damn things. 4 just isn't enough. I'm starting to sketch out a proper factory for this sort of thing. I may build it in this world as with the excuse being that, this is the prototype, where they achieved all this stuff and then went and built a proper factory to do the big processing. Because we are in a Minecraft world and it does have infinite resources. You just have to find them. If you've got a big enough factory, it doesn't matter what you bring it. It'll inhale all of it. We need sulfuric acid and saltpeter brine. Do I have saltpeter brine anywhere? I don't think I do. I think I've got rock salt brine and carnallite brine. Let's look over here. I got a mixer. What's it making? Sodium hydroxide. Okay. That's not even a brine. Oi. Where are the brines? Here might be something. Here is rock salt brine. There is carnallite brine, as predicted, as foretold. And mixer here, mixer. Nope. I'm going to have to put in a mixer. That's rock salt. Let's see. I'm going to have to put in a mixer and a tank. That's only 3. If I put it here, don't think I'm going to clip the wire. Let's find out. Fluid tank schematic. Fluid tank. I'm going to scooch it over one and I'm going to put it here. There. Oh, hey, I see grid. And foop. No? Oh, I'm not in creative mode. I was in survival mode for placement of neodymium. Whoops. Wrong. That. Thank you. Poop. There we go. Did not clip the wire. Bip. Okay. We go from here, just over and down, and this will supply the nitric acid at some point. Let's get that done. And we've got lever put on. I need a reactor, which I'm going to put out here on this spit of sand here. And think about which way I want it to face. Stand in the place where you work. Now face north. Can't do any more of that, or I'll get clipped for IP, for copyright. Capitalism destroys art, folks. Okay, the redstone is on the end with the input. Okay, the output is on the other end from the redstone. You have to think about... That sand is in the way. There we go. There was flat, more flat area on the other side. We'll just do a little disruption here and saltpeter, rock salt. All right, there's our saltpeter right there. And I want to put this thing facing this direction. Let's get rid of a little more of this. There we are. Line it up more or less with that. And put it here. Schematic grid is visible, just really hard to see against the sand. I'm going to hope I've got it in the right place. Yes. Here's the single input. The output will be pointing this way. We're going to have some longer pipes on this than usual. I usually like to keep things close in so I'm not running so much pipe. Okay. Which people who have gamed with me would find hysterically funny because I have a reputation for laying more pipe than Mario. My GMing style is largely player-led. What I like to do is set up a lot of threads and see which ones the players follow. I'll develop those out for their interest, and anything that they didn't follow has a chance of, well, things left unattended generally go from bad to worse. And so those can become problems of their own later on if I need them. Yeah, you remember that thing you decided wasn't so important? It was important. Okay, so we were after nitric acid. Nitric acid is made with saltpeter brine and sulfuric acid. We got to pipe in the sulfuric acid. We're going to make the saltpeter brine locally. The sulfuric is going to come in on this with a colored pipe, and I just got to think about where my nearest sulfuric is. That's not it. That's feeding into there. That's osmium amide or hydrochloric, one of the two. Probably hydrochloric. My nearest sulfuric is this tank over here, which has a brown pipe coming out and going over here. Excellent. I can tap the brown pipe. I've already got a colored pipe. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, we're heading that direction with it, down there. Let's just start with... Where's my brown dye? Did I put it in a backpack? I put it in a backpack. There we go. Pop it into my other hand. and down, and we'll just take this pipe up from here with the sulfuric acid going up, up, up like a fish. And, ooh, I gotta watch it. I got another brown pipe over here. What is that? That is chemical waste going. Yeah, I don't want to get involved with that. That's icky. Where I'm going is way the hell over here. And I want to avoid that, so I'm going to want to come along here. So why don't I bring this, at this point, I'm going to shoot it out that way. I want to avoid the chemical reactor in the process of getting the sulfuric acid to the small reactor. And following this pipe for a bit seems like a good idea, aesthetically. You know. Oops. We end up with a pipe run, which looks realistic, you know, vaguely. I mean, there ought to be supports or something, but what the hell. All right. I'm going to take a hard turn here. With me, you can assume it's a hard left. But the older I have gotten, the further to the left my politics have moved. In reference to the slug across the bottom of the screen, yes, it did used to say, to speak out against the ongoing Israeli genocide in Gaza and in Palestine, and I still support the Palestinian right to exist and condemn Israel for their ongoing genocide, but 2 of my children are trans, and given the political climate in the United States right now, it became more important to me to address the issue that is closer to home. See to your own oxygen mask first, then you can help others. Okay, up and over. Zip, zip, zip. Makes a little bit of a gnarly bit of a knot right there, but you know, what the hell. And I'm off by 1. I am classically off by 1. Canonically, typically, I mean, how many off by 1s can you see in this picture? What you do, you put the sheet of tracing paper up over the screen. Oh, Lordy. I wrote a Guido Sarducci reference into 1879. If anybody ever comes up to me and tells me about the Guido Sarducci reference that they got it without having me point it out, I will buy you a coffee. I live in the Pacific Northwest. We are big on the coffee culture here. Okay. That should... Whew, that's a bit of a run. There's some long runs in here. I am going to crack open the valve here and send this sulfuric acid on down the pipe and see where it lands. Hopefully in here. Yes, we got some of it. We got some of it. Gonna be a few before I have everything else anyway. I gotta make a mixer. Let's see. MIXKEY. obscure your copyright IP. Okay, let's look at the book, because we should always look at the book first. Heavy machinery and mixer. Okay, stop the play. All right. I want to look at this. Output is on the front. Input is on the left side. So we want the mixer here. Oops. Here. Okay, yeah, we have it. All right, that gives me two spaces, one of which will be a fluid router. A zoom. Yeah. La zoom. Zaloom. Excuse me. It's properly Zaloom. And if you get that reference again, I'll buy you a coffee. All right, I need a fluid router. Fluid router connected to the mixer output. Now hear the word of the manual. Fluid router is going to be set. We're going to make nitric acid, so we need saltpeter brine and sulfuric acid. We already got sulfuric acid directly piped in. So what we're going to do is we're going to go grab a flask of saltpeter brine. And stop and think about this a second. Which one is that? That's yellow. That's green. We're facing north. We are now face north. Yes. Okay, we are facing north. So north will pass only saltpeter brine. This should prevent us from getting water into the reactor. Really, I should be outputting to a tank, you know? I should be outputting to a tank. Fuck. Let's back up and do this right. Come on. Do this right. Okay, where's my fluid tank? Start, back up here. I know better. I really, really know better. There we go. I gotta stop that. And get dinged for copyright for having too much of a work in. Capitalism destroys art. YouTube has gotten very much into YouTube is shitifying really fast. It has become a platform for advertising, which is one of the first big steps. Everything under capitalism eventually becomes a platform for advertising. But yeah, then, yeah, we're going to be kind of over the top of that a little bit. Maybe. Let's find, oh, I put the, I'm just batting 1,000 this morning, aren't I, here? Come here, you. Did I grab the right thing? No. There. Grab the mixer schematic. All right, now my mixer needs to be facing that. Ooh. Hi. Let's just plop it down like here and see if that'll do it. There we go. And We'll figure that out in a minute. All right, so this time the off by 1 is intentional so that I can drop the fluid router into the jog. Whoops. Fluid router, yellow side. Yellow side gets tagged with saltpeter brine so that we don't get water in the tank. There we go. Now we've got it set up a little more correctly, the way it ought to be. There we go. Okay. Get this on here and switch off. Etc. I think we're done with the fluid pipe. Where is my, there it is. And this looks like an interesting shot here, but it might work. Yes. There we go. Perfect. All right. Here we go. That done. All right. I need... various pieces, parts. It's set up here. Oops. Whew, it's a ways to the nearest Tom's, isn't it? Okay, there we go. Just that. And then I'm going to need over here. Yep. Over there. Okay. Because in making nitric acid, we are going to get sodium compound dust coming out. So I got to be prepared to catch that, as well as the nitric acid that is going to be emerging from here and heading off into this tank to be fed further into there. Okay, we have some sulfuric acid, don't have much. Need water over here. Still don't have power to the reactor. Gotta fix that. Okay, first let's get the reactor powered and then go do the water. Reactor connected to the power line now. Hear the word of the manual. I know it doesn't fit the scansion. Oh, shit. Well, dag nabbit. Okay. Frackety frack. All right, here we go. We'll just drop a pole like here. And hopefully that's not too bad of an angle. And then this flips over to here, and there we go. Bada bing, bada boom. Done. Okay, chemical reactor has power. Now I need a water pump. Look in the backpack, get the water buckets. Get the water pump and the fluid pump, and there we go. All right. And backpack that, and that may need them later, but so don't need them right now. And let's just, careful. Don't want to let the water touch the saltpeter. It will dissolve. Go. That there. Set fluid output. Think I might want to bring a power line right about here. No. Connect it over to here. And connect this down to here. And flip that on. And this fills up with water. And that does not. Okie doke. Now, saltpeter. Saltpeter. Let's see what I can do about that. First, get my tools reorganized. Then we see what I've got in here. Saltpeter crystal. Another nice amount. I'm actually going to put it all back and just grab half a stack of saltpeter crystal, silly person, and key that Tums and get it started. And there we go. We start loading in. And I can flip over here. Yeah, I don't want to necessarily use the pickaxe. It's a little overcharged. Requires a careful touch so I don't break the sediment. Sediment is highly friable. There we go. There's 29. Okay, I had 29 more that I can just throw straight in. We're currently set to output only bottom fluid. We're not even powered up yet. I'm still bringing in saltpeter crystal. I can accelerate this process. There we go. We'll accelerate the process. Okay, and click on. And we are making saltpeter brine. There we go. All right. And I'm just going to let it make all the saltpeter brine it bloody well wants to. Why not? Let's fill that up. All right. Roll this over into there. There's our saltpeter brine going. Energize. And we are making nitric acid. A smidge at a time. I'm going to have to go see how much more sulfuric acid I can put over. Let's go see how much we got. We got over 2 buckets. Where's the switch? Did I not put up? Yeah, I did. Okay. I'm going to go on and load this into the big chemical reactor. And walk around to the front of the big chemical reactor. Have a look at things. How are we looking here? We got nitric acid, hydrochloric acid, osmium amide. Believe it or not, there is a comms there. It's just not connected. I need to go on and do that. Let me flip back over and do the Tom's connection on this. Shame on me for not having it finished. All right, that's going to block that accumulator, but who cares? Point. There we go. All right. So, let's go back to Osmium. Look at the recipe again. I'd gotten to osmium amide, and it goes into the big chemical reactor with hydrochloric acid and nitric acid, and it'll process in very tiny amounts. It's going to produce chemical waste and osmium grit. All right, so I'm ready to receive the osmium grit. I am not ready to receive the chemical waste. Oh, I have a couple of chemical waste tanks around. There's one over here. Best to consolidate. So that's another brown line. I'm going to need to put a brown line across here and down to there. All right. This is what we keep the brown dye handy. Okay. I'm wanting to come over this way with it. I'm going to latch on here. Go up even with this. And bring it back this way. Yeah, that's really annoying, but not big. Not a big annoyance. Not a big annoy. Really annoy. Okay, I gotta bring this over to here. And then we take it up. Okay. So we're going to come over to here. If I shoot here, I should hit it. Yes, right? There we go. And the chemical waste output will go to the existing chemical waste tank. There we are. Got to have better organization in the tank farm. Got to think about organization in the tank farm before I start building the factory and where the tank farm is going to go. More use of fluid routers. All right. So, big chemical reactor, got nitric acid, got hydrochloric acid, got osmium amide, all ready to go. I have a TOMS to catch the osmium grit and a tank to catch the chemical waste. Let's run this. See what happens. Vroom zoom zoom. We are producing. Osmium grit being produced. And sadly, chemical waste being produced. Take it out of creative, put it back in survival so that I'm actually handling the materials, not just creativing them. All right, we're out of nitric. Flip off, wait, and go to the arc furnace and see what's going on at the arc furnace. Maybe the arc furnace is done by now. The arc furnace is run out of coke dust, which means it is done for now. I'm going to flip it off and I'm going to clean it out. Pull this calcium oxide out. And I'm going to take all the calcium slag and I'm going to take it over to this ball mill and huck it in. And then back out to, whoops, overshot, to the arc furnace. Okay, arc furnace. I need to look in here in the toms and get my, oops, that's platinum, osmium grit. I have obtained osmium grit. Osmium grit goes in the arc furnace and is a 1-to-1. So I'll distribute it and bring it up. Caffeinate. Ugh. After a few months here, I've adjusted my weed intake. I've discovered that basically anything with haze in the name is a good thing for me. Haze is a founding OG strain that has energizing and motivating effects. And yeah, the super lemon haze, it has been like executive function in a bowl. It's been amazing. So yeah, my daily driver is now a haze variant, and here I have Osmium obtained. Okay, put that back in there and see what else I've got. If I've got enough coke dust, 1, 2, 3, 4, well, there's plenty of that. And here's thump tons of calcium oxide. I got calcium compound dust and calcium oxide both just rolling on through here. I need 3 more stacks of calcium oxide. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And we're fully loaded, and we'll start that thing up. And we get to do the musicless triumphal march once again. And osmium. Oh, shoot. Excuse me. Sorry. Little miscalculation there on my part. Okay, osmium is achieved. Tick that one off the list. Our next target, then, is platinum. Now, if we're after a platinum ingot, to get a platinum ingot, we got to go to the arc furnace with platinum crystal. Forget the grit, we're going to be after crystal, which means I got to have a crystallizer, and I need chloroplatinic acid. To get chloroplatinic acid, I need crushed platinum ore in either aqua regia or hydrochloric and nitric, which, you mix them together, you get aqua regia. I'm already making nitric. I'm already making hydrochloric. I just need to make a lot more of them, and then run the 2 of those over crushed platinum ore to get the chloroplatinic acid. Oh, and look what it throws as a byproduct, osmium compound dust. So we process for osmium and we get platinum, and we process platinum and we get more osmium. Lather, rinse, repeat. Oh, lordy. Yeah. So, I need a small reactor to put hydrochloric and nitric through. And that'll get me chloroplatinic. And then the chloroplatinic, fiddly-foo. Chloroplatinic goes to the crystallizer and spits out aqua regia. Might be better. No, I want to make the stuff, silly. Come on. There's got to be a way to make the stuff. Besides, I can't just mix Oh, come on. No, I want to make it. Yeah, the only way to make it is as okay. I should be able to make aqua regia by mixing the acids, right? Shouldn't there be a recipe for mixing the acids to make aqua regia? It seems like if you're gonna want me to put I can put it through with nitric and hydrochloric. If I had the recipe here, I can get it there, but I'm going to have to put these through initially to get the aqua regia. I should be able to mix nitric and hydrochloric and make aqua regia on its own. That feels like we missed a step. All right, so I need a small chemical reactor. And the small chemical reactor is going to be putting out chloroplatinic acid and osmium compound dust. Okay, so it will have a solid output. Let's see. We go way the hell over here for this. Oh, shit, sorry. I need to stop a second and adjust my woolens here. Wearing hand warmers because I have a desk fan pointed across my laptop to keep it from overheating while I'm streaming. It's working. I just have to remember to, adjust every now and then. All right, so here is our mixer making the saltpeter brine. Here's where the nitric acid is going. Except there's no nitric acid right now because there's no sulfuric. Let's go back and check the sulfuric over here. Is this... Okay, that's being left open. That's being left open. This over here needs to be left open. So that we can flow through like a tea bag. All right, and then we've got the sulfuric, hopefully piping on out to here, where I can then, I got a little bit of it. We'll flip that on, make this little smidge. That should be left open. Alright, I'm just going to leave that for right now. It's got sulfuric acid dribbling in, and we'll wait for it. There's nitric. Alright, I've got a nitric feed here. I can tap into, where am I putting this thing? I've got hydrochloric coming in. Hydrochloric is over here to feed. Yeah. I got hydrochloric here. Mm-hmm. Can I get some hydrochloric put down the line, please? Have I got hydrochloric to put down the line? Don't. I've got actually a fair volume of sulfuric acid here. Let's get it converted into hydrochloric. Yeah, I need a central tank farm with pods coming off, making the different things and feeding, with the things feeding out and back in. I'm thinking storage and tank farm in the middle. Power systems down either side. The input at one end, and then ranks of ball mills and crushers and reverb furnaces and so forth as needed. All right. Switch that off. And we made 7,500 hydrochloric. Let's sling it out into the network here and see where all it goes. Hopefully some of it went toward this direction. I'm hoping to find some of it in this tank here. Yes, 3750. Okay, I got some hydrochloric. I got nitric. I got to bring them over to a chemical reactor. The hydrochloric is here and is in a green pipe that I could bring it through there. The nitric is here and just needs a color-coded pipe. I think I'm gonna put it here. Oops. Switch over. Oh, sugar. Heh. Well, surprise. Okay. Well, isn't that just extra special? Hmm. Thinking here. Okay, so I got nitric here. And let's just pick a color. I need a color I haven't used before. I don't think I've used cool. Have not used cyan before. And we'll lay a pipe there. I'm gonna lay the pipe going this way. And I want it to connect here. There we go. All right. I'm just going to break that one for right now. So I can route my nitric over to there when I get more nitric. Sulfuric is trickling in. Be patient. Okay. Got the nitric connected. I need green dye. In order to connect the hydrochloric. And again, what I'm going to do is just mooch it for right now. This needs to connect here. I'm thinking I ought to bring it on up and around so that it doesn't cause a problem with the fluid output here. Get it out of the way. Just got to think about where I'm going here. Okay, I'm going there. I'm going to more or less follow this. Okay, let's just bring it straight on across here. Up, up, over, over here and bring this up, 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 up. Sight along it to here. Sight from this there. Bring this across. Oops. Landed on the pipe and fell off of it. There we go. All right. Hydrochloric. Send it over. And now we've got hydrochloric acid, and we got to watch our reactor status because I may have to repair it with stainless steel plate later on. We've seen that before. Okay, safed. Wear it in. Okay. We have power. We have hydrochloric acid. We need nitric acid brought in, but we're working on making that. This on, make that smidge more. Okay, we're going to have some output here. That's kind of scary to have happen there. Okay, we're going to have osmium compound dust coming out of this thing. I need to go on and set up to capture that. So, the usual arrangement with the toms. Of course, it's new return the reaction. There we go. Okay. Oh, let's see. Let's stop and think a second. I'm going to be supplying nitric and hydrochloric and crushed platinum ore. Yeah, I did not expect that. I really, wow, holy crap. That's always fun. Okay. Plant. Platinum. Where's my platinum? Platinum compound dust. Here's my platinum compound dust. My platinum compound dust. Well, the platinum compound dust wants to go in with nitric, hydrochloric, and ammonia, and to give me platinum grit. I'm going a different route here. So at this point, I'm in search, I believe, of crushed platinum ore to go do this thing. So crushed. There we go. Crushed. Silver, scheelite, pyrolusite, platinum. Crushed platinum ore. Throw it in. That platinum compound dust we'll do something else with later. There's not that much of it to begin with. This, on the other hand, I've got a fair amount of. Okay, how's our nitric? hardly there. I'm going to put it over anyway. We're getting sulfuric, it's just going to take a long time. Okay. This, meanwhile, is chugging along at 213 RPM. The water tank there is just fine. This water tank is okay. We've got more water being put in there, and yeah, check these, how they look. We're using up rather a lot of geothermal heat here. I'm seeing an awful lot of magma block here. I'm going to have to recharge those at some point, which is going to be a pill because they'll eventually, I think, turn into obsidian. Okay. I have got I need an output for the chloroplatinic acid that's going to be produced. Because if I take crushed platinum ore and I run nitric and hydrochloric over it, I get chloroplatinic acid and osmium dust, and the chloroplatinic goes to the crystallizer. Kabib kebab. Okay. Put this down. Let's get this. Run up to there. There we go. All right, now let's get a crystallizer put in. There we go. Crystallizer schematic. Go and look at the book. Crystallizer. Stop that. Okay. Where the redstone is, that's going to be where our power, where our control is. There's our output. Here's our input here, and the power is over there. Input is on that side, is on this side. Excuse me, this is the blue. Shit, come on. Blue is input, orange is output. Okay, so it's around to the right of that. I want the input to be on that side. Let's put this here. See if I get it in the right place. Or where to tap it. There we go. Oh, no, that's the power. Damn it. Input is here. So I need to be facing that way. Cool. Right, and this is going to be our Aqua Regia output here. Dirt. Hold on a second. Input. Power. Power over here. Redstone over here. Output over here, and the Aqua Regia pipe that needs to be hooked up. There we go. Make sure that's hooked up properly. And hope we don't have any surprises here. And no surprises for this stream already, thanks. Okay, got a tank for output of the Aqua Regia. Got an extracting conveyor belt, which we'll put on here. And rotate. And then I'm just going to stick a chest on and not bother with toms because we're not going to be producing that much stuff from this thing. There's just no point in going to all the trouble of a toms and everything. All right, let's put away a few things. Do a little tidying up at the work site, a little cleanup. Make sure I've got, let's see, I'm missing the, whoops. Bye-bye. All right. Switch that off. Get it powered. Oh Lord, where is my nearest electrical power? I'm going to have to bounce it around. Okay. That's okay. Everything's cool. It's all cool in the hall. You don't have to come into the hall. Okay, crystallizer is powered up. Are we ready to make platinum, folks? I can't hear you. Okay. This is our chloroplatinic acid coming out of here, and we got to hook it up to there. Don't have this hooked up yet. Only one possible output into this tank. I'm not worried about it. Ting. Go. And I need this over here. Go. Got a lever on that to control that. How is this looking over here? Have we got any more sulfur? Got a little more sulfuric. We'll go on and run it. Okay. Alrighty. That gives me that much more nitric. I'll go on and send it over. Not going to worry about getting more hydrochloric. There's no point. Geez, going to fly around just to be able to reach the thing. Okay. Got plenty of hydrochloric, got nitric, got crushed platinum ore, got power, got an output to a buffer tank, and I got capture of the solid output. Let's bring this up. Chloroplatinic acid. Reduced. Okay. Over to here, I have chloroplatinic acid. I have almost a little over 3 buckets. I have a crystallizer. I'm going to load the chloroplatinic acid into the crystallizer. Got chloroplatinic acid loaded into the crystallizer. Let's make absolutely sure we've gone to the crystallizer, and we should get aqua regia and platinum crystals that can then be smelted into ingots. Let's flip it over to survival mode here at this point and flip that on. It's doing something. And aqua regia going into the tank. We got platinum crystals. We have achieved platinum crystals. Let's just let this run for a minute. Getting a lot of it, actually, for small amounts of the acid. The yield seems to be pretty nice here. See crystals moving from the crystallizer into the chest. There they go. They're quick, but there they go. Them crystals is quick. Yeah. Okay. Where are we? A little bit longer, a little bit longer. I want to run the whole batch, you know? If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do the batch. Alrighty. Switch that off. Yeah, I've got all this aqua regia that I could use to make more platinum, but I'd have to, I'd love to be able to recycle it. But I'm getting it as a byproduct, and that's a little annoying. Platinum crystal. Ran out of coke dust. Well, your problem. I'm gonna just pull calcium oxide and drop in the platinum and distribute it. And while it's running, one, two, three, four coke dust. Okie-doke. Pop all that in. Pop all that back in and distribute it and get it going again. 20 ingots of platinum. Ha, ha, ha. Include pompous triumphal march music here. I really feel like I should have gone and found something public domain or something, you know? Sure there's something. And, come on. I know it's a bit of a distance. There we go. Platinum has been added to the wall. We have achieved platinum. A couple of routes to it. I took kind of a quick route. This leaves us with some questions because there's only a very few metals left, and I'm not sure and one of them I know for sure can't be obtained yet. There is thorium. To get a thorium ingot, we'd need thorium crystal, which means we'd need thorium nitrate, which you get from cloudy uraninite nitrate. And it just kind of backs up to, we need ethanol and phosphoric acid. And where the hell do we get ethanol? Got to go to got to make ethanol. All right, so we got ethanol. Oh, lordy, what all else did it want? Thorium nitrate, cloudy uraninite nitrate, cloudy uraninite phosphate. Phosphoric acid requires sulfuric acid over apatite powder. I could do thorium. It's a long chain. It's going to take a lot of work. Zirconium hasn't been implemented yet, and the chain will break at some point, I think. Yeah, there's no recipe to make the crystals. There's no recipe for zirconium yet. Refined uranium is theoretically possible. Let's see, refined uranium. Here we go, the refined uranium ingot. I'm not sure that I'm not sure where it even goes. Refined uranium block, refined uranium ingot to kind of loops. Yeah. So the only one that I think is really viable here, and then the last one is, let me bring this in here because the last one is unobtainium. And there are reasons why it's called unobtainium. You can't get it. Just don't even bother. You can't get it. Thorium's the only one of those four that I think I could actually achieve. Very long process. Could be done. What is much more likely to happen is that I'm going to switch off to a different Minecraft stream for a bit. I've got several possibilities. I need to get back into Create. There's been a number of developments in Create in the last couple of major versions that I have not kept up with, and I need to catch up. So I may be getting back into Create, and with that, back into Trains. And we'll see where it goes. Bringing in Create Trains and then bringing in, putting Create Trains and Immersive Geology together could be just all sorts of fun. I could have trains bringing in loads of ore to this whacking huge factory, and it would just, that would be a long-term build, but it would look so cool in operation. It would really take the whole model trains thing to its, I think, its ultimate extreme. I have several other possibilities. But I think right now I've about played out the basics of immersive geology. I've achieved all these different metals. That's quite a lot, you know? So there comes a point where we're going to wrap this up, and I'm going to wrap this up in another couple of minutes because we're approaching the top of the hour. Yeah, I think this from here, the next logical thing to do is to go over and work with Create for a while and spend some time with my notebook and sketching out ideas for the factory layout. I want to see if I can get a much more efficient factory. I have a hodgepodge here that has just sort of sprawled wherever there was room and power to put something. It's grown into this massive tangle of pipes and cables and trying to keep it all sorted out and everything going in every direction. And my OCD is just absolutely offended by this. So yes, I want a more orderly, better organized factory. And I want trains bringing ore to it from big serious digs, from excavators, immersive engineering excavators, feeding trains. I've got a vision here. And we'll see where it goes. In the meantime, it is time for me to quit maundering on and bring this into the station. Thank you so very much for having been here, whether you were here watching or if you are live or if you are watching the VOD. If you have enjoyed the stream, there are many VODs on YouTube. Some of them are mine. The ones that are mine are located at the URL in the lower right of your screen. There's a lot of Minecraft. There's magic mods and tech mods and actual trains somewhere back in the distant past. Other games as well that I've played through on Twitch as part of a streaming community. Speaking of which, in the upper left is the schedule for the streaming community for truck community streamers. We have a large and very active crew with a lot of stuff going on. I was watching Kirby last night and Donkey Kong Bonanza the night before, and I will be back. I will be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel, 8 a.m. Pacific time, with more Minecraft Trains and Tech with whatever I'm going to do. We'll see what happens. Before then, I will be back tomorrow night, Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Pacific time with Roots of Pacha, which is a wonderfully written and beautifully done farm and dating sim in which a Neolithic people invent agriculture. It's just lovely stuff and very chill vibe. I hope you'll join me tomorrow night, 6 p.m. for Roots of Pacha, and then again next Saturday morning for more Minecraft Trains and Tech.